under 30 seconds.
Auto sequence initiated.
We have auto sequence start.
Oxygen.
The engine's igniting. The launch command issued. Again, the engines will fire, ramping up towards flight speed.
Engines at maximum speed.
And liftoff. Peggy, Whitson, Oleg, Novitskiy, and Thomas Pesquet rocketing towards the International Space Station.
10 seconds. Everything's nominal.
The rocket lighting up the night sky there in Baikonur. All initial performance calls indicate everything nominal or normal. First stage delivering 930,000 pounds of thrust through those 4 boosters in the single core engine. First stage measuring 68 feet in length and 24 feet in diameter. It's going to burn liquid fuel for the first 2 minutes and 6 seconds of the flight.
We copy.
Everything continuing to look steady, straight as an arrow for the Soyuz as it continues to rocket off. Again, launched right on time at 2:20 p.m. Central, 3:20 p.m. Eastern.
Everything's fine on board. Spherical tank pressure is nominal. We copy.
Over 70 seconds, 1 minute, 10 seconds into the flight, velocity of the Soyuz now over 1,100 miles per hour.
80 seconds into flight. Control and motion control systems are working nominally. Everything's fine on board. We copy. Thrusters of the second stage are working nominally.
All performance calls with the booster continuing to look great. Soyuz continuing to fly straight and true. There you see the 4 strap-ons breaking away in the night sky there. The first stage boosters being jettisoned.
Copy.
Their job complete. They drop away at an altitude of about 28 statute miles. The Soyuz traveling at over 3,300 miles per hour. Now powered by the second stage.
Structure and the engines are nominal. The crew is feeling fine. We copy. We see you guys and we confirm.
Есть строй головного обтекателя. Есть правильный спуск.
Steering, jettisoning, confirmed. Copy.
And so at this point, the launch shroud has been jettisoned. The Soyuz now exposed to the air and soon to space. The rocket at an altitude about 48 miles high.
On the second video camera and the descent.
Getting a wave there from NASA astronaut Peggy Whitson making her 3rd journey to the International Space Station.
You 5x5. Copy.
Seated just next to Russian cosmonaut Oleg Novitskiy. At this point, the Soyuz traveling at a speed of about 4,700 miles an hour.
The crew is feeling fine. We copy.
So the second stage continuing to burn, that core stage that also flies during the first stage, performing as expected. That core stage, 56 feet in length, 13.5 feet in diameter, has a single engine with 4 fuel chambers and is providing between 178,000 and 222,000 pounds of thrust, depending on the altitude, for its 3 minutes and 28 seconds of operation. It will continue to burn until the 4-minute, 43-second mark, to when the Soyuz uses what's known as a hot stage technique, and that's the third stage will ignite while the second's still burning. This is why the Soyuz has that small open grating area between the second and the third stages. The second stage performing flawlessly so far. We are 4 minutes and 30 seconds since launch. Everything looking good so far.
We confirm third stage engine activation. We copy.
And getting confirmation the second stage has dropped away, separating at an altitude of about 105 miles. Soyuz now being propelled by the single engine of the third stage, providing 67,000 pounds of thrust, going to burn for the next 4 minutes and 2 seconds.
Is nominal.
And again, this is the third and final stage. It's going to continue burning until about 8 minutes and 45 seconds since liftoff, at which point the Soyuz will separate and be in its preliminary orbit.
секунд.
340 seconds into flight. All motion control systems are nominal. Everything's fine on board. Copy.
Another look inside the capsule. Again, Oleg Novitskiy in the center seat, Thomas Pesquet, the European astronaut, at the top of your screen. This Pesquet's first flight, the second Soyuz ride uphill for Oleg Novitskiy. Everything continuing to go smoothly with the launch, which rocketed off on time at 2:20 p.m. Central Time. 6 minutes, 30 seconds since liftoff.
For 20 seconds. Roll, pitch, and yaw are all nominal. Everything's fine on board. And we hear you 5x5 and we see you on the video camera.
So over 7.5 minutes of flight. At this point, the Soyuz traveling at a velocity of almost 13,500 miles an hour. So there's just a little under a minute left in powered flight. Once the third stage delivers the Soyuz to orbit and the modules separated, those pre-programmed commands will be executed, preparing the Soyuz for orbital operations. All of these allowing the Soyuz systems to be automatically activated by onboard computers at precise times stored inside. And some of those maneuvers will include deploying, again, those critical navigation antennas and the solar arrays that will power batteries, providing electricity to the various Soyuz systems.
20 seconds till contact separation. Affirmative.
And seeing the telltale jolt there, that means the third stage has cut off and separated.
Separation constant. Contact.
The confirmation coming from the folks in Mission Control Moscow. Third stage has separated successfully. That single liquid-fueled engine shutting down and dropping it away at an altitude of about 125 statute miles. And already getting confirmation from the visiting vehicle officer here in Houston. All of the different communication and navigation antennas have deployed along with those two solar arrays. So we have confirmation of spacecraft separation, deployment. The Soyuz now orbiting at an altitude of about 143 by 118 miles. And that orbit's going to be raised systematically over the next 2 days as they chase down the International Space Station. Control of the spacecraft from here on out will be overseen by the Russian Mission Control Center just outside of Moscow, but for now, safely in orbit, NASA's Peggy, Whitson, ESA's Thomas Pesquet, and Roscosmos' Oleg Novitskiy, following a successful and a flawless launch in the early morning sky over Baikonur. So everything going very well with this Soyuz MS-03 vehicle so far. Vehicle in orbit, all of the antennas and the solar arrays deployed, and the chase down of the International Space Station has now begun.
R7